What up? What up, y'all? Trying to see how to do this thing. What's going on, Corey? What's up, Mandy? What's up, Otis? What's up, folks? What's up, Keisha? I'm doing this on the Facebook too. I haven't done it. They switched up the live all on here, but I don't know how to tell what goes on now. New message, create group. Hmm. Excuse me. I don't know, but I'll just get into it. Just want to talk about now that everybody's been in this stay home order. Not necessarily everybody, but that's what they've been. That's what they've been announcing. So people have changed and getting used to the new normal. Um, I'm always talking about athletics and football in particular, but it could go in any type of coach for any sport. What I want to touch on, everyone's always talking about the athlete, and I just want to give some advice out there to the coaches. Um, coaches in the youth, coaches that are coaching non-professional players, specifically, especially high school coaches, and this pertains to some college coaches as well. You just have right now we have The Last Dance is out. I think it aired a couple of nights ago on television. The Chicago Bulls um, 1998 campaign. That was my squad back in the day. The end of each third championship was when I graduated. So when I graduated high school, the Bulls won, and Scottie Pippen's my favorite player. And when I graduated college, the Bulls won. Bill Cartwright, shout out Bill Cartwright, Elk Grove High School. So it was funny just watching that, taking me back to that time. But what's up, George? Um, but what I want to say is, what ends up happening is, a lot of us we we get the propaganda through the television, and the television projects a certain image and a certain message that they're always trying to push. And so, in just going around the nation over the years, I've seen a lot of good coaches. I've seen a lot of bad coaches. I've had a lot of good coaches. Haven't really had a lot of bad. I've had a few bad coaches, I feel, but I've been fortunate enough to have a lot of good coaches during my day in all the sports I played. But one piece of advice for being a player that I know that I saw going around is I want to encourage you guys during this time now as coaches to get better. Don't just act like you guys really need to be going out there and practicing. That's something that the player needs. But I feel that coaches, you guys need to work on, talking about the youth coaches now, especially, work on you being a better coach. Work on you understanding people more. I think that a lot of coaches are forgetting that these are young boys and girls, that they're not professionals. And I know that we end up saying that, you end up telling them, hey, if you want to do it, it's your job. And, we sit there and, at a certain age, you have to stop telling that lie of, you could do anything that you do hard work. No, not in the field of sports, especially a sport that requires other people to evaluate you. The other people have to have skill to be able to evaluate. So some people aren't can work hard all they want to, and they're not going to end up playing the sport that they think that they might. It doesn't mean that that all their work is bad. That's pushing an individual to be the best individual that they can be. A lot of things now are they're all about these championships. And so now you sit here and here's a year where they shut sports down, right? And now, now what's going on? So does now without sports, does that athlete, is their life over? Do they have to stop living? Do they have to stop studying and going to school? So for all these young athletes, it's like these shows come out and then everyone will start comparing themselves to Michael Jordan. And coaches will start saying, you see what Jordan did and you see this and you see that. And it's like, well, there's time for that. Why don't you, I've been in Sacramento and whatnot. So why don't you try to do what the player at Sac State's doing when you're the person in high school? You don't have to. It's good to have that goal to look and, to be able to look out there and say, somewhere that you want to be. But it's more feasible for you to look what's right ahead of you and to be able to prepare to be able to take that on first. I think that today's society, we feel that if we train like a pro, we're going to be a pro. And that's not the case. So back to the coaches. You guys at the youth level are supposed to be teaching them the fundamentals, right? A lot of these boys and girls haven't fully grown physically, let alone mentally. You know what I mean? And it's like we're putting these demands on them as if they're pro players. Yeah, you're the one being paid, and that's your job. And this even goes up to the college level. Is right. We want to sit there and and you coaches, most of them don't say anything, but you're letting them call them student athletes. But you put these demands on these young boys and girls as if they're being paid to do this stuff. Rest is a big part of being an athlete. So it's like being able to go to school and to think and learn and listen and to have the patience requires a lot. Let alone being one that has to do that and then has to go out there on a field and perform under the pressures of coach so-and-so yelling at them. And I don't mean talking loud and, being a coach. I don't mean yelling like that. I mean, personally, with these young boys and girls, I mean, half of them are worried about the girl they like or the boy they like. They have so many other issues and so many other things going on than just that. But, when it comes down to it, you guys are supposed to be there to give them tools. I'm so grateful for all my beginning levels of playing football, of my beginning level of track. I did a lot, but when I always go back to it, I go back to Pop Warner football. I played for the Humboldt Oilers in Texas. And our coaches, everything was basic. And they taught us from the beginning, here's the holes. here's the 0, the 2, the 4, the 6, and the 8. And here's this position number. This is the 1, this is the 2, and this is the 3. So when we do a 34 dive, it's the 3 back going to the 4 hole. Right? And everything was fundamental, and we only ran those basic plays, and we ran them over and over and over and over and over again, and no one ever beat us. Right? You got a lot of pros that came off that organization. Shout out Bertrand Berry, B-Train, David Boston. You have Aaron Glenn. But for me, it was just all about basic fundamental football. And then as I continued to grow, played for the South Sacramento Vikings. Same thing there. Basic, we were being taught basic fundamental football and getting conditioning. Not trying to put in all these schemes and use all these color codes and all this stuff. You got to speak a universal language. You guys should be teaching them the basic language and giving them the tools for them to go off to the next level, for those that are going to be able to have the skills and the talented and whatever it takes for them to go to that next level. A coach, you're supposed to be coaching and giving them tools. They're not supposed to be coming into your system and giving everything to you and you not giving them anything back. And I see a lot of that going on now is this thing, well, hey, we're going to lose these seniors, and hopefully next year so and so will fit right in. Stop trying to make the next person be the person that was there the year before. Sometimes it works out that way, sometimes not. How about you be the coach and you make calls according to the people that you have out there, and not trying to always make everybody fit in. Yeah, life would be really, really easy if that's all you had to do was just year after year, just, oh, okay, the next person goes and tries to be the next person. I feel that's something that I see a lot, is especially at the lower level, even at the college level. There's situations I've seen where, like you have some people that the coaches have been successful with, and they've been successful with the system, and then they outsmart themselves by thinking that they need to keep the same system or keep calling the same play or whatever the if is, rather than, no, this person is really good at this. Why not call the plays accordingly? Like one thing that I see all across the board at the high school level is not everybody has a quarterback. But so these teams will be running teams and they'll run the ball, and then when it's 3rd and 8, they drop back and try to throw the ball 30 yards down the field. But then they'll keep screaming that they don't have a quarterback. Well, first thing, if you don't have a quarterback, don't call a play that you're going to try to make him throw the ball 30 yards down the field and think that they're going to catch it. How about start off and design some 5-yard passes, some 3-yard passes, run a reverse, get that athlete the ball. Don't blame the athlete that they can't throw the ball down the field, but you keep calling plays for them to throw the ball down the field, right? That's what coaching is. Coaching isn't having this title and then saying, oh, well, hey, I got a shitload of talented kids this year and we're good. Because they just fit the system, and talent-wise, they were able to go out there and happen to beat and win against other teams. That's that's not necessarily coaching, and then it does a disservice to those boys and girls who have the skill and the talent to go off to another level. You should be trying to speak the language and give them tools that they can go off and be able to compete, just like they're getting in the classroom, right? Those that are going to be able to get the material are going to be armed with more weapons and more tools to be successful in life. We keep hearing everybody talk about sports is a business, but then I feel that there's not, especially coaching wise, and like I say, as we keep going down at a lower level, no one's teaching them about the business. Hell, like now, no one's even giving them the fundamental of the sport that they're even playing. So let's not even talk about the business aspect. I think you got to get back to the fundamentals, and then hopefully as they keep going up, they're being taught about the business. A lot of colleges, there's some colleges at some major conferences that are doing a good job of teaching the young men. They have them either taking classes or having people come and talk to them how to properly have an interview, things that they should and shouldn't say, things like that. But there's not enough of that going on, but there's a lot of chatter of everybody just thinking that these young men and women are just supposed to know how to do all this stuff when no one's teaching them. So that's just what I want to encourage you guys that are coaches out there. Try to be a better coach. Everyone's always talking about putting it on the player, and the players need to work hard and do this and whatnot. I think that, and I'm not talking about, the dad, the mom that's out there and no one else is volunteering and, they're doing the best that they could do. I'm not talking about those. I mean, those are the people that actually try to do exactly what I'm talking about. I'm talking about you guys that are doing this as your career, and and you're calling yourselves as coach, and you guys want to be looked at as such. Let me try to go back and peep out these questions on here. Let me see. Of course, I hit I don't know how to. Okay, there we go. Scrolls. What's up, cuz? Mm, George, all ears, coach high school. Okay, you at the high school now? Corey said Lakers. What's the Lakers doing? Y'all got any questions for me? What's up, Alec? Yes, positive mindset, brother. Hey, appreciate that. What's that? Nipping 12. Look at all the seniors who won't have graduation and recognition for their athletic efforts. Yeah, that's tough. I really feel for them for not being able to have that because I know for me, tradition was a lot. A tradition meant a lot, like at Elk Grove. So there was a lot of things to be able to look forward to sports wise. But at the same time, I knew that I was moving on, so I didn't feel like that was my end. But yeah, it's definitely tough because a lot of people won't be playing that sport again. So I definitely feel for those seniors. Yeah, trying to trying to be Jordan in high school, you won't be on the team, right? And then that's another thing. Another thing that I just thought of that I want to say is that another problem is people grow at different, especially different ethnicities. They grow at different paces. So I feel a lot of so-called scouts or coaches at the college level, they're always looking for these guys to be these grown men coming out of high school, and they want them. These coaches want these guys to weigh this and a certain weight. Dealing with young growing men, I think that naturally, when you play a certain sport and you do certain things, you're probably going to naturally, depending on what position, you're going to naturally gain weight. I think that that's something else that's being focused on a little bit too much now at the lower levels. Is we're trying to put these men or telling women to lose weight, these weight requirements, and we're equating them to how good somebody is. Or if someone gains weight in baseball, they're going to be a home run hitter. And, meanwhile, I see Altuve out there knocking them out the park. So what's the correlation, going on with just gain weight and then you're going to be able to do this? That's not necessarily the case. Teach them the fundamentals, and as they go on in life and progress how they are body wise naturally, then they'll fall into who they are. 100%. Everyone wants to air attack. Yeah, whether they have a QB or not. Exactly. Who's a known coach you think coaches should strive to be like? Example. A known coach. I mean, I feel I like the coaches they take the basics. I call it old school, new school, where they're able to take some of the old school, per se, like let's say Nick Saban. I don't necessarily agree with a lot of the things that Nick Saban has to say personally about the top athletes that he's getting off the field. I mean, off the field, what he says, but you could tell that the athletes that he's getting, you could tell it's a competitive environment. Urban Meyer, he creates a competitive environment. And that's what this is all about. That's why I like playing the games. I liked the competition. It was that was supposed to be what was supposed to be fun about is being able to be armed with all the tools to be able to compete. You have Bill Walsh, of course, not necessarily the winning, but the fact that he's able to get people that he wanted for his system, and he operated his system. Belichick, he's definitely one like that. The thing I like about Belichick, to answer your question, George, is he goes out and gets people for who and how he wants them to. He's not listening to what everybody else says. He has his own thought process, and he goes off the individual. He even deals with people that he thought that was going to be cool, and they weren't, and he's shipping them off, getting rid of them. He's moving on from them, and he's not just going off of that old school up. Got to make this pick work. And a lot of guys, a lot of coaches do that at the high school level. The guy that was a sophomore, the guy that was good his junior year, he comes in his senior year. He's not in shape. He wasn't really the guy when he was a junior, just because he played varsity when he was a sophomore. But the coach is riding off this status, and now he's a senior. But it's really a detriment to that individual because they're not working, because they were just handed a position off of who they used to be. Meanwhile, there's plenty of other people and players that have actually surpassed that player talent-wise with growth and hard work. A lot of coaches get stuck on who somebody used to be, and especially when you're dealing with youngsters so young, they can drastically change. How to keep athletes motivated, engaged during the season with fall sports being uncertain. Yeah, I mean that's going to all be new. I mean that's new. We don't have anything. And I think that is what's hard is the uncertainty of what's to come. But when you really have a passion for something, nobody really has to make you do it, and I think that's one thing that I always saw that set people apart. And you could tell when you see these there's some, it's a very small number of that super talented Bo Jackson that could just get up and go run fast and jump and grab a pole vault and go over it. Most of the people, they've really, really worked hard and put in time, just as with any other business out there. But let me look. Back to football and weight. Do you agree with kids who are over the weight limit to diet to make weight just to play? Yeah, I don't. I feel that someone should diet according to their age and body style, not necessarily just to be plain. So I don't necessarily agree to just diet to fit this certain weight requirement to play. Because as I've stated, you can get the skills at a certain age without having to really play the game. I look at myself as a junior in high school. Junior high school, 8th grade, I was 5'2". I played on the C basketball team, Quimby Oak Junior High School, San Jose. And I don't know what I went into Elk Grove with. Maybe 5'6", something like that. I was really short. And then summer of my sophomore year to my junior year, I came back to Elk Grove and I was like 6'2". 6'1", 6'2", something like 160. So go to varsity, make varsity playing linebacker. I ended up starting a couple games because one of the linebackers got mono. But I was the scout team linebacker for the team the whole year. And so, we ended up winning the whole section. There wasn't state at the time. We won the section, but I didn't necessarily get to play. I got to play in games, but not a lot of significant snaps. We blew a lot of teams out, so we got to play. But it was more valuable for me my junior year going against the offense every day in practice than it was to have been a starter to play in the game. Because I got to go against the number one team in Northern California and go against them in practice. And that got me ready to play for my senior year. So I think for me, just simply games, depending on what you want to do and who you are overrated. When it just comes down to your growth and you getting better skills. It's just like right now, schools school's not in the sense of going and attending and sitting in a classroom, but that doesn't mean that you can't keep getting knowledge, you know. So, but what's up, Molly? What's up? What's up, Byron? Um, any more questions? I can't see anything on here, but yeah, this will be yeah. Let me know any other topics y'all want to talk about. I just felt that I want to say that, give the coaches a shout out, and I know coaches, especially at the youth level, you guys have a lot of you guys have jobs. Not too many guys are just straight up retired, and you're trying your most are trying their best. But I just want to give some tools and some gems I felt. Uh, you know, there's this there are youth there. They mostly mean well, and they're all going to go off and be grown men and women, and we can give them some tools that they can go off with in life, and even at hopefully at the sports level, that they can use and utilize for them. All right, I appreciate y'all. Let's see if I can get up out of here. Oh, here's all the questions on Facebook. What's up, Scott? Oh, okay. Yeah, we good. What's up, Benzola? What's up, nephew?